The passport office didn't recognise me as British, even though I was born here, have lived here my whole life and have never left the country. Right now, I feel really at a loss of what to do, because you just kind of feel powerless, like some faceless person somewhere or an institution can decide something that is so, like, such a massive part of your life. Everything that I'm being penalised for is just something that's all the things that are just not in my control. Like, all I did was be born.
Angela Jones is British. She was born in the UK. Her parents were British. She's never even left the country. So why isn't that good enough for the Home Office?
So I made a recent passport application, which was rejected. The passport office didn't recognise me as British, even though I was born here, have lived here my whole life and have never left the country. I also don't have parents anymore, and my mum died a British citizen and my dad was British. I was told to apply for citizenship as a stateless person. The term stateless in of itself, it implies that you have no rights in a country, but I have all the rights to and can provide all the documents to live, buy a house, work, vote, drive and study here. I just don't have the right to leave. I recently left drama school and started getting auditions for TV series and filming opportunities around the world. So growing up, I didn't have the opportunity to travel abroad, just financially. My family couldn't afford it. And now that I'm like a working professional and it's part of my job, I decided, okay, I should get a passport now. I rang the passport office because I don't have a lot of my parents' documents and things like that. So I called them just to double check that I've got what I need. And an advisor spoke to me and advised that I send off my birth certificate, British, my mum's death certificate, and a covering letter just explaining my situation. My brother did the same thing. Sent it off, applied online, just paid the usual fees. And 2 weeks later, my brother had his passport and I got the response that I couldn't get one. I rang up the passport office. I explained to them the situation and also that my brother has one, and we both sent it off. And they said that they couldn't really explain why his went through and mine didn't, but that they couldn't backtrack on the decision that had already been made, and that it's up to the discretion of the examiner. So my brother might have got a different examiner to me, and the person who looked at my case decided themselves that I couldn't have a passport and that I wasn't British.
In an email, the Home Office told Angela that because her mother was not a British citizen when Angela was born, she's not entitled to citizenship, and her father's citizenship doesn't come into play because her parents weren't married when she was born.
So my mum was born in Malawi, moved to this country before I was born and also never left. She got her citizenship before she died when I was around 16 and my brother was about 15 years old. And I've, never known another country. Like, I've never been to Malawi before. So they actually, in my rejection letter, said that if I apply for British citizenship, it might get in the way of my Malawian citizenship. And it was kind of ridiculous. I was like, who said I had Malawian citizenship? I have never had Malawian citizenship. That they just automatically assumed that I do. And then after telling them that I don't, they said that I had to apply as a stateless person. It just feels...
Yeah, calm. Shalom Akim, Kahalim La Yahaba Shim Yashab Bashim Rakakudash, and double on Instagram some apostles. Thought Yahshua for giving me the strength in order to make this video. And yeah, you already saw right there, man. Esau's system is a clotness. And the reason being, you're clearly seeing an individual, an Israelite here, who has lived in the UK for a very long time now. You know, from, I think she mentioned around the age 15, 14. And I don't know what age she is right now, but, you know, obviously she's a young adult. And at this point, after living that many years, not also being able to travel to one of her home countries, her mother's country, which is Malawi, the thing is, she should be able to have the right in order to have that that passport which she applied for, which she said was because of her job, because I think she needed it for that purpose. But really the point is, because as the title goes in this video, this is one way we could also become pilgrims upon the earth, man. When the time comes where the Akim are going to be deemed as terrorists, whatever names, derogatory names, of which Esau's going to put out there in the news to label us as, we're going to have our things seized from us, man. Whether it be, the homes that we're living in, which is when, people, Akim are going to be cast into prison. Again, we're going to get that precept out as well. And passport being the key focus in this video as well, man. Passport and citizenship. Those things can be removed when that time comes, where we're deemed as terrorists, and that goes into that precept where a man shall desire to go into a city, but shall not be able to, because Esau's going to clamp down with his martial law and these things in order to restrict the movement as well. But yeah, man, that's the point right there, because Israelites still going through those curses, man. Although, things are going to be flipped to the heathens over time, but we still have to suffer it for a time being. But yeah, that's the point. The video's right there. I just played it, but I'll probably come back to it soon as well. But yeah, let me get precepts. Deuteronomy 28 verse 30. Because these curses, man, Jake is still enduring through them. This is Deuteronomy 28 verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. And then this is the key part. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof. Which really what that is referring to, you can perceive it as this. You will labor, you will work, and you won't be able to reap the fruits of your work, man. That's what it means. You're not going to be able to gain from the work that you've done. So she's been working in the UK for quite a few years now in that video. And of course, she should also be obliged, to have the privilege, to get a passport, well, right now, pretty much, we're as slaves in it under Esau's kingdom, because we ain't got no land. We still have to serve Esau for the time being. So, in the state that we're in, that she's in, she should be able to get a passport, man. But of course, with Esau's, again, that's why I say Esau's system is clarkness, because she did say the excuse that they used was because of the fact that they don't want it to intervene with the Malawian citizenship, which she doesn't even have, because she did say she hasn't visited that country once in her life, man. She was born in the UK, innit? And she's been there for quite some time. So the point being is, obviously she should have that privilege, but she ain't got it. She's been working in the UK. She should be allowed to do all that stuff. She can drive, own a home, rent a property, whatnot. All of that stuff, all the rest, apart from the one thing of having the ability to travel, man. And again, that goes into that prophecy, man. But yeah, that was the reason why I brought out Deuteronomy 28 verse 30. Because the keeper said, thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shall not gather the grapes thereof. So even though you may be working in the UK, contributing to the GDP and whatnot, gross domestic products, for the brothers who may know some economics. But yeah, man, that don't matter at the end of the day, because they can still restrict your movement. But yeah, let me get, that was pretty much the point right there, that, even if one labors to contribute to the country, it's done in vain. That's the thing, because you ain't going to be able to reap any fruits or gain from doing those actions, from contributing to your country. So, you serve for the time being, and Yaratazar, and the time come, Israel's going to be the head and no longer the tail. Actually, before I even get the other precepts, let me read a few more verses down. Yeah, it says here, the fruit of thy land and all thy labour shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up. and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed away, man. You know, it's part of oppression, man. Not being able to have the freedom to then, you know, travel. Israel's still in that oppressive oppressed state. You know, this is just one tactic Esau would use, man. Not even to mention about the history of I think Jay getting taxed, but read that's another lesson, you know. That's another lesson into history, but you know, the point is, you know, Jake is still in that oppressed state, and the limitation of not having the ability to travel is also one of them as well, that adds on to that oppression. It says in Deuteronomy 20 verse 33, the fruit of thy land and all thy labour shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed away. So yeah, let me get one more from here, because these curses be hitting hard though, I can't lie. These curses be hitting hard. And really, we could also, another point of this video is also the fact that we're going to be pilgrims upon this earth, man. We are going to be pilgrims upon this earth, as strangers upon this earth, man. So, of course, our ability to travel will be restricted as well. But, you know, we'll be going from city to city. We won't really have a resting place, man. For those outcome who may not be in prison, or they'll be in the streets roaming as pilgrims, man. You know, you don't know what state a certain brother may be in the time of Jacob's trouble. So, yeah, where's that verse? Oh yeah, this is another one, another curse for Israel. Deuteronomy 20 verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail, man. And that's the state of Israel right now, man. You know, whereas having to go to Esau for some flipping level of freedom. Because Esau's the head right now. The wicked are the head. They're the ones in rulership. So our people are mourning right now, man. Having the ability to have their passports taken and citizenship stripped of them, despite living in the UK for some time. Which I got to play another video after this as well. But yeah, so I might either do a part 2, or I'll just do it all in one in this video. But yeah, let me get just gonna get something. Yeah. Okay, so going into that precept, thou shalt desire to go into a city. 2nd Ezra 15 verse 17. Yeah, this is it, man. This is it. It says 2nd Ezra 15 verse 17, and a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. So that ability, that ability to just travel, you know, from one country to another, that freedom is going to be stripped, man, and Esau's going to clamp down on it. Especially in the time of Jacob's trouble, there ain't going to be no reason to be traveling, man. Airports probably won't even be active in that time. Not even probably, they won't be active, you know. Jacob's trouble ain't called Jacob's trouble for no reason. It's going to be a very great tribulation to go through, you know, a very great suffering to go through. So people aren't going to be in that glamorous, comfortable state anymore. Yeah, so that's pretty much the key point, man. That's what she's going through right now. Although she may desire to go into another city, another country, she won't be able to, man, because, you know, she ain't got a passport right now. The same thing can happen to Akim in the time of Jacob's trouble, in a time where, you know, you may hear your name on the news. You might even see an image, you know, from I don't know, maybe from school or something, an old image, wherever Esau's got his resources from. You know, maybe even from hacking your phone or something. You might see an image from there. Then, you know, they just proclaim that, you know, this guy right here, he's a flipping terrorist. I know it won't be funny in that day, but it's going to be some serious thing when they're going to release it. Like, imagine in the UK, we've got BBC News. You know, we've got BBC News, we've got Sky News. Imagine that Channel 4 News or whatnot. Imagine on all 3 channels, all the news channels just say, this is the latest terrorist group, and then these are the individuals in UK specifically. Imagine them listing up all the brothers' names. And you specifically, you as a brother specifically, man. As for those laboring in this truth, man, that's when we're truly going to know the feeling of the scripture about making that body a living sacrifice, man. Because we're doing it for Yahweh's sake, So anyways, I was gonna get another precept, but this is really to prepare our minds. This is to prepare our minds for the time to come where the so-called things we own, which is really just the vain tools that we use day by day. You may own a house, what else? Passports, citizenships, official documents or whatnot. All of those will be seized and clean. So again, they're just vain tools to be used for the time being, man. Anyways, our faith is in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So let me get this one. Yeah. Hebrews 11, verse 13. Imagine that day, You just see your face on the news. Oh boy, that's when, that infamy would come in, man. Being infamous, which is basically being famous, but for the wrong reasons. Well, in Esau's world, it's going to be for the wrong reasons. Really, it's for the right reasons. Suffering for this truth, preaching out in the highways and byways, waking up Israel. Working to get to our salvation, Yahweh Tazah. But yeah, let me get Hebrews 11, verse 13. Then, this is Hebrews 11, verse 13. These all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. So as we are here in these vessels right now, these carnal vessels, fleshly vessels, terrestrial vessels, that was the word I was looking for. As we're here in these terrestrial vessels, we know that this isn't our world anyways, man. Although, the world, the earth was really made for our sakes anyways. So, of course, we're from the world from above, which is really the heavens. I'm really referring to the elect, the 144,000. So, of course, this is just a temporary place, man. That's the point. Which is why we've got to be detached from it. It all starts mentally before it starts to begin physically. But yeah. So, let me get another one. Actually, you know what? Before I get because this is pretty much a quick video, just getting to the point, man. One way we could become pilgrims upon this earth, man. As soon as we're deemed terrorists, it's a done deal. It's a done deal. Just forget everything at that point, man. Forget everything. Which really everything else is just vain, anyways. As I said, they're just vain tools to be used for the temporary time that we're on earth right now, man. That's when that will be also part of the trial of faith, man. Are you willing to detach from these carnal and vain things? The house, different devices, phone, laptop, what else? Passport, citizenships, not having a constant flow of income or water, food, necessities, not having normal access to necessities, man. That's going to be a trial of faith. And that's what's going to happen in a time where they're going to start casting brothers into prison and deeming us as terrorists. That's how it is. When they say someone's gone rogue, that's basically how Arkham going to be like in that day, man. They're going to go rogue. Like them secret agent movies, man. James Bond and John Wick and whatnot. He's gone rogue. They've gone rogue from the world. But yeah, anyways, Revelation 2 verse 9. Yeah, so Revelation 2 verse 9, it says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them, which say they are Jews, and are not. But yeah, Salaki, that's the wrong one. I think it was it's verse 10, Salaki. Revelation 2 verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer during Jacob's trouble. Things of which Esau would then do upon us. We shouldn't fear them. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. Again, what I was talking about the whole time in the video. That ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. And 10 means perfection, just as 7 means completion. And these numbers do have the symbolic meaning. Remember when a brother sent me like an image of what these numbers mean, from 1 to 12. They all have their meanings. So, in the time to come where we have to suffer tribulation, man, we're going to endure it, and we shouldn't be scared of what Esau may do upon us. Again, our vessels are just made to be a living sacrifice unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And rightfully so, we'll do that as we endure this tribulation to come. It says, be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So, of course, we have to stay dedicated to the point of our death, man. We may even die either in prison or wherever, man, Esau catches us, man. But either way, we've got to do it unto death. That's the type of dedication that we're talking about in this truth. Unto death. When they say it's do or die, this truth is do or die, man. This truth is do or die. You either die righteously for Yahweh's sake, being a righteous servant, or you die in vain for being wicked, which is judgment. So, of course, that's really the point right there, man. Try to play something else, and then we'll get my final piece, and then we'll wrap up from there. But yeah, that's the point right there. Let me check this one out. But yeah, man, this one's another one pertaining to that scripture about, what is it called? Oh yeah, about us being deemed as terrorists. Yeah, that's what it's going to be about.
Nearly 6 million people in England and Wales could become eligible to be stripped of their British citizenship without warning under new plans proposed by the government. The new rules would apply disproportionately to people from non-white ethnic minorities. We looked at census data to see how many people this bill could apply to, and we found that 2 in every 5 people from an ethnic minority could be eligible to be deprived of their British citizenship, compared to just 1 in 20 people from a white background.
This is something that's really disturbing, because we've seen the Home Office say that citizenship is a privilege and not a right. But what they're really saying is that for a lot of white people, citizenship remains a right. But for a lot of black and brown British people, it's something that's becoming more precarious by the day.
People with ethnic minority heritage become effectively sort of second-class citizens.
Anyone with dual citizenship can already have their citizenship revoked if the Home Secretary believes that it is in the public interest to do so. That includes anyone born to Bangladeshi, German, French, Italian parents, even if they've never acquired a second passport. The government can also remove the citizenship of people without dual nationality, so long as they were born outside the UK and their behaviour is considered seriously prejudicial to vital British interests. The proposed Nationality and Borders Bill would extend these powers even further.
Yeah, let me rewind that, because that was the key part.
Behaviour is considered seriously prejudicial to vital British interests.
See, that's the key quote. It says seriously prejudicial, which means there was something. Let me search up on my other phone quickly. Seriously prejudicial. It's like pertaining to danger. Yeah, let me select. So prejudicial, it says harmful to someone or something detrimental. So that's what it is, man. When the time comes where Esau's ready to clamp down on the prophets, then they'll deem them as terrorists. And terrorists are known to be harmful and detrimental. So of course, the thing is, that's really why I brought out this video anyways, man. Because the point is, if they're saying that you can get your British citizenship stripped just for this reason, you already know the time of prophecy is coming where, you know, we're going to be casted into prison. So it's coming close, you know. It's coming close. When was this uploaded? This was 1 year ago, but we know when Esau clamps down, this is what can happen, man. Getting our citizenship stripped, passports taken and whatnot. You know, that's what it's gonna come down to.
The proposed Nationality and Borders Bill would extend these powers even further. Clause 9 of the draft bill states that the government doesn't need to notify those deprived of their citizenship if it does not have their contact details or if it is for any other reason not reasonably practicable to do so. It also states that notice should not be given if it is in the public interest not to do so.
Yeah, they can take it without your awareness. But yeah, man, that's the point. Let me get find a precept. Something we need to always remember as we're dwelling upon earth with whatever situation that we're in. So, John 15 verse 19, if ye were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. And in that time where we're going to be deemed as terrorists, I'm really referring to the brothers, man, out there doing the works. When that time comes where we're going to be referred to as terrorists, that's going to be a time of the trial of our faith and also a time of enduring great suffering, whether it be mental or physical, man. But yeah, we'll go and endure to the end, Kim. And Yara Tazar, this lesson was edifying, you know, that made sense, and you know, you brothers and sisters understood. So call halalim la Yahaba Shim Yashaba Shim Rachakudash and double on Instagram some apostles. So man.